What's up, everybody? So, I just wanted to do a quick video. I'm going to try to make this as brief as I possibly can because I really don't want to go off on a whole lot of tangents. But obviously, we are in the day after the official national election for the United States of America for the president of the United States. And I am going to say it like I feel. Unfortunately, Donald Trump has won. This is how I feel about it. I am 100% disappointed, but I am not 100% surprised. And here's why. Donald Trump is what a lot of people have allowed him to become. He is a privileged white man who has been propped up by his family's money, his family's name. He didn't have to really work for anything to obtain the name and the claim to fame that he has. And people have allowed him to become this figure that they started to admire when he decided to run for president the first time. I talked about it on a number of occasions as to why he even ran for president the first time, and I still stand on that. He's an entertainer. He's not entertaining, but he's an entertainer. We can't take that away from him. And so for a lot of people, they found him entertaining. They love the fact that he just said whatever he felt like saying. He wasn't being politically correct. A lot of people are over politics and tired of it. I am not someone who is into politics. And even though I have shared my thoughts and views on this election, more so in the later, or I would say the latter part of the election versus before, just simply because I wanted to get the word out. And I felt like because I have this channel and this platform, it's my duty to talk about the things that I see and just share things that I see. The fact of the matter is, this country values entertainment over education, over what is right. So that is why they rejected all of the Republican nominees when he ran for president the first time, and they allowed him to become the president. And here's the reason why he ran, not ran, but here's the reason why he won the first time, and the reason why he won the second time he won, but not the second time he ran. The first time he ran against a woman. Hillary Clinton was the Democratic nominee the first time. The second time he ran against the Democratic nominee who was a man, Joe Biden. The third time he ran against the Democratic nominee. First, it was Joe Biden, but Joe Biden was pushed out of it. And Kamala, she accepted the opportunity, she accepted the challenge. But the third time, the nominee, Democratic nominee, was a woman. So Donald Trump won because his opponents were women. This country does not value women. They want women to be in their place, and they don't believe that a woman's place is in a huge leadership role like the president of the United States. This country is not ready for it. I believe this country despises women more than they despise the ethnicities, the races that are social constructs that were created to divide and conquer. This country despises women. So he won because he ran against women. When he the first time, he lost the popular vote. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but he won the electoral college. Second time he ran, he lost both to a man. Third time he ran, he won the popular vote, even though it was not by a large margin. He won the popular vote and he won the electoral college. Why? Because he ran against a woman, and a woman who is a minority. So people really give him too much credit to make him like he is some great leader that spoke to the values of the people, and people really wanted change, and they really wanted this and they really wanted that. And yeah, they may want a whole lot. But the one thing most people do not want is a woman running the show. And that's what it boils down to, in my personal opinion. I am not going to be doing a whole lot more political commentary. I did not make this platform out to be about that. And I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't. I have a brain and I'm able to be multidimensional and diverse. And I'm not just talking about things that are insignificant or frivolous, like reality shows and things like that. Yeah, I can do all of those things if I want to, and I made the time to be able to focus on some of those things. But quite frankly, I'm not going to allow him winning this presidency this time, even though there's a whole lot that I'm not happy about and I am concerned about. 100% absolutely concerned. I'm not saying that I don't have any concerns. I'm not concerned about anything, but I'm not going to allow this to stress me out. I'm going to put my focus on things that are going to really bring me joy and happiness. And this type of stuff ain't it. I really wish that people did not make politics into a contact sport. And I was actually speaking with someone this morning, actually a client this morning, because we don't really talk about politics when I see her. I see her every week. But she asked me what I thought about the election. And I'm going to say to you what I said to her. She's an older Caucasian woman. She said she did not vote, but she didn't like any of the candidates. And I know people who are they're not fans of Trump, but they would have preferred Donald Trump to be the president over Kamala, over Joe Biden. There's a lot of people like that. And I knew the state that I reside in, it was going to go to him. It always goes to the Republicans. I don't remember a time that it ever did go to a Democrat, but I still voted for her because that's me making my voice heard and making my vote count. So I said to her when she asked me about it, what I thought, I just wanted to keep it simple because I'm never going to go back and forth with anyone arguing with them about politics. It's just not worth it to me because it's not going to change their mind. They're not going to change my mind. And us sitting here arguing about this is going to change anything in the political arena. So, what I said to her was, I really hate that people have made politics into something like it's a sport where it's like, my team won, your team lost. Too bad, so sad. Because let's, just speak about football teams. You may be a Chiefs fan and someone else may be a Cowboys fan. One wins, one loses. Yeah, you may get the moment to gloat and, celebrate, but whether the Chiefs win or the Cowboys win, it's not going to affect anything in your personal life unless you're somebody that bets on the games and you win a lot of money or you lose a lot of money. But I'm just basically saying somebody who's just a fan and their so-called team wins and the other team loses. You don't lose anything in that situation. So for people to make politics like it's a sport, Donald Trump won. That's my team. Go MAGA. We won. Y'all lost. We all are citizens in this country and we all have to live here. Now, we don't have to. Some of us may choose to leave, and some people are saying they're thinking about doing that. I'm not thinking about doing that. And the reason why is because I was born here. This is my country. I didn't like it and didn't understand it and was astonished by it when he won the presidency the first time. But I stayed in this country. I worked and hustled and did, what I needed to do and put my focus on things that were not about politics to really focus on my personal life and my business or businesses. And it's not going to be any different this time around. Now, I don't know what all is going to be enacted throughout this administration that could possibly affect my business or my personal life. And yeah, there may be some things, and the way that it sounded, there are going to be some things that are going to affect it. And am I going to like it? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to give up because what happened happened. And I just wish that it wasn't that way. But because of the type of person Donald Trump is, he's made it into that type of atmosphere even more so. I'm not putting all the blame on him because I did some commentary, I think it was yesterday, where I was talking about how the parties have switched over the years and how people have flip-flopped, and the Republicans at first were all against him and now they're all for him. They're just a bunch of sellouts. These people are not for anything really except for themselves and their bottom line. And Donald Trump is the definition, like the actual dictionary definition of white privilege. He is a convicted felon. He is someone that has been found liable for assault on E. Jean Carroll. He has been defrauding people, not paying people what they're due. He is a user, a grifter. He's selling products and selling stuff to his followers, and he doesn't care anything about them. All he is for is himself. So, for people who want to make it seem like this is the man that God chose, I beg to differ. And again, I would never get into an argument with anybody about that. But you can't tell me that God, if you believe in God, he only cares about the United States of America, but all the other countries that have terrible leaders, dictators, authoritarians in office, that God selected those people too. And what if someone didn't believe in God? What if that is true? What would make them feel like, you know what, that's a God that I want to believe in and I want to worship and I want to serve, when he makes the people to suffer? A lot of this stuff is cult behavior. These religions and these people who are in these religious groups, they put this stuff out there to make it seem like this is just directly from the throne of God and this is who God chose. And if God chose him, we wouldn't have to go through an election. No, the people voted, and more people voted for Donald Trump than for Kamala. But I am going to say that it was not a landslide. So it wasn't like he got like this huge victory over her. A huge victory would have, because you need 270 electoral college votes. A huge victory would have been him, getting, I don't know, 370 votes and Kamala getting, whatever the remainder was of that. And that's not the case. He got about 276 or something like that, and she got 220 something. That's not a huge victory. But I also do believe that a lot of people were not honest. That's why I never looked at the polls to say, "Oh, she's in the lead. She's going to win this. It's hers, it's hers to win or hers to lose." I never looked at it that way. I had hope and I was definitely hopeful, but I just wasn't surprised when I saw that he won. But I absolutely was disappointed. I was, and still am. I was feeling a little bit gloomy, and my husband, he was encouraging me this morning because I wasn't crying or anything, but maybe he thought I was. And I said, I'm good. I'm not crying or anything, but I am concerned, you know? And he's like, we're going to be all right. And I do believe that we are going to be all right, but it would be nice to not have to deal with him anymore, because I do believe that he's going to make things harder for a lot of people. And even Elon Musk, somebody that Trump has claimed that's going to be in his administration, he came out and said, yeah, if Donald Trump wins, it's going to be a lot of hardship for a lot of people who are not, in the upper class or wealthy. And how is that right? And how is that fair? I'm not saying that I am of the belief that people should just live off of the government when they're able-bodied and they're able to, work and make a life for themselves. I'm definitely not in agreement with that. I've never been in agreement with that. But it's just a lot that I am disappointed about, but I am not surprised. But trust and believe, Donald Trump is not this formidable figure that is winning because he is amazing. He won against two women. The first time he won against a woman, and the third time he won against a woman. The second time he lost, and he lost against a man. And a lot of people are over him. A lot of people did do protest votes, and they weren't, uh, you know, exactly for Kamala, but they were against him. But we have to be honest. Donald Trump, even though he won this election, he is a loser. He won because he won against the figure that this country does not value, and that is women. Point blank and period. Period. And so I am I'm hopeful. I'm going to try to put my focus on things that are good and things that, make me feel better. I cannot continue to focus on this stuff even though it exists. I'm not going to say that I'm going to just go blind to every situation that's going on, but I'm not going to have my focus on all of this. And I wasn't even really like that before this happened. I was just tuned in a bit more and sharing things more with others so that they are aware. Because I do believe that a lot of people don't really understand what we're in for. And it is quite sad that some people actually believe that the true and living God would want this man to be the president because it's going to cause them to draw closer to him, to God, when this man actually believes he is God. He is not a Christian. He said he doesn't believe in asking for forgiveness from God. He never lived his life that way. And you have all of these Christian leaders, these white Christian nationalists, and there are some of the black ones too, that are out here promoting the nonsense when it came to Donald Trump because he got Roe v. Wade shut down, but yet a lot of people that is not even affecting their own personal lives, and a lot of the policies that he is planning to put in place, it is going to affect their personal lives, their families' personal lives, their loved ones and their friends' personal lives. But making sure that Roe v. Wade was gutted was more important than people who are actually here living are able to live and survive and not have to deal with the division and the hatred and the all of the other things that comes out of Donald Trump. It's disgusting to me. I would never sit and listen to any pastor or Christian leader or whatever who wanted to try to push off the the narrative that God chose Donald Trump. People voted for Donald Trump. God did not choose him. And they love to say things like, because there's a scripture in the Bible where it says, God will take the foolish things to confound the wise, to make it seem like, well, God chose Donald Trump to be in the office of the president so that he can shut the mouths of people who think they know it all. But really, you really think that way? I'm not going to go into all of it because it just really angers me when I hear stuff like that, because it's like they just have this, like, that's why they're called Christian nationalists or white Christian nationalists. You're only focused on the United States. There are all these other countries in the world. If you really believe in God, you would believe God created the world, not God created the United States of America. It's so stupid. You have people like Kim Jong Un, who is a dictator to the core, where you're not even able to believe in any other God but him. You have to worship and praise Kim Jong Un. Go on YouTube, look up videos where these people are just worshiping and idolizing this man. And Donald Trump admires people like that, and he wants to be like that. He really believes that people should be worshiping him over worshiping God or whatever other entity they are doing in the religion that they follow. It's just a whole lot when it comes to this. I could go into it even deeper, but I, again, don't want to make this very long. But the real reason Donald Trump won was because when he ran the first time and the third time, which just happened recently, he won because women were his opponents. But he lost the second time because it was a man. And some may say, well, when he ran the first time, he had all of those people that were Republican. They were running for the Republican ticket, and they were all men. I think there was maybe one woman, but maybe Nikki Haley ran too. I can't remember. But anyway, she's irrelevant. But I'm just saying it was, yeah, there were a whole bunch of other men, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Tim Scott, to name a few. He won against those men. But again, it goes back to what I'm saying. People are tired of politics, and Donald Trump gave them what they were looking for when it came to that, which was not being politically correct, just saying how he felt, didn't care what anybody thought about it, being an entertainer, coming from the world of reality TV, that old show years ago that was hosted by Robin Leach, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And, people knew him from television. Those in the business world that knew about Trump, they had no respect for him. Absolutely none, because they knew the truth about him. So, because he had the ability to get this platform, and the media outlets loved it because it brought them more views, it brought them more ratings, so they were able to command more for advertising, which brought them more money. He got a lot of free airwave um, attention because he could say whatever he want, do these press conferences, speak from Trump Tower, speak from this place, that place, and they would just air it on the different networks, on CNN, on Fox News, somewhat on MSNBC and others, and just give him a platform where he didn't have to pay for TV ads to run political ads about. It was just, they just gave him the platform. So people, they had so much access to him and so much opportunity to really see this man. And because a lot of people, they idolize these entertainers, it gave him the leg up over all of those people who were running for the Republican nomination when he ran for president the first time. He'd had no intention of actually winning the nomination, but he won it. And he didn't believe he was going to win the general election, and he won that. There was Russian interference, so there definitely was election interference. What he talked about a lot when he lost the second time, there was no election. There may have been election interference, but it didn't go, the way that he was hoping for. And so now he is in the place of being the named winner, who will be inaugurated in January, which I'm just going to tune out of all of it, just like I did the first time that he won. And yeah, people are upset. A lot of people are upset because a lot of people did cast votes. A lot of people were anticipating it was going to go the other way. And for people to say, well, the celebrities who came out to endorse Kamala was just too much. But what about the celebrities that came out to endorse Donald Trump? Or like, are you serious? Donald Trump is low key a celebrity. Like, so it's hypocritical for people to have said that, to say, well, people didn't really connect with the celebrities that were endorsing Kamala. Well, yeah, we don't have the money that those people have, but it was a message that they decided to share. And I believe that it was really important for them to do that. And I'm glad, that a lot of them did. Did it help her this go around? No, it didn't. But like I said, even though the race was close and it didn't go in her direction, he didn't win it by a landslide either. So there were a lot of people that really did not want to see him in that office again. But again, because it was a woman running against him, it made it easier for him to slip back into that position. So you really have to think about that. Someone else may have said it. I don't know if they did, but I know that I haven't heard anyone else say it, and I'm saying it, and that's why I believe he won. Yeah, white supremacy lives and reigns in this country. Absolutely true. But also the misogyny is it's rampant, and it's in every community of ethnicity. A lot of the Latino votes, the black male votes, other, they voted for Donald Trump. As a lot of them do not see it for a woman being in a position of leadership like the office of the president. When Hillary ran the first time, I remember hearing a lot of people say, I just can't see a woman running this country. She goes on her period and then she just pushes the button because she's having PMS. You know how disrespectful that is? But people don't care. That's how people really think. But this man who is so erratic that you can't even say anything about him, and then he's going off on his own social media network to blast people for having an opinion about him or saying the truth about him. He doesn't like it. He's more emotional than any woman that I've ever seen in a position in government. So, yeah, he won. because misogyny won over the views of this being a different day and time and being progressive. People are just, I'm not even going to say they're ever going to be ready in this country. And that's the sad part about it. So that's why I was and am disappointed, but not surprised because misogyny won. And that's why Donald Trump is getting the opportunity to be in the space again. And the scarier part of it for me is because he's 78 years old. Who knows how much longer he has here on this earth? And this technically and literally is the last time that he can run for office. But because of the things that they're trying to enact, who knows what it's going to be like in the next 4 years. But you've got younger versions of him that are making themselves more noticeable and more known now. And that's the scary part. Because you get rid of Donald Trump, you don't get rid of the Trump mindset. You definitely don't get rid of the white supremacy, the racism. But I'm really hopeful that in all these states and all these other things that are, moving forward, lawsuits against him and other indictments and things like that, that something will happen in those areas. But all we can do is watch, wait, see, and pray, and also do our best to try not to focus on it too much where it depresses you and brings you down, and and try your best to live your life. Don't, don't just give up and say this is it. It's over. But yeah, it I do believe that there are some dark times ahead and it's sad, but we shall see what happens. But yeah, misogyny won, and that's why Donald Trump is getting another opportunity at this spot again. So I hope you all are doing well. I appreciate you being here. Again, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot more political commentary because I honestly am exhausted with the whole thing. It's never been my cup of tea in the first place. But if anything else big happens or whatever, I may talk about it and share with you guys. But other than that, I'm just getting back to being beautifully honest about the things that I feel like talking about, which is, some entertainment news, pop culture, religious scandals, and and that's it. So you let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, try to keep it positive, positively beautiful. And now I'm going to say bye.